we're starting the video now. So we'll do some melee today, and like I didn't have it planned and just impromptu. Anyways, whatever. So melee, what we're doing is really the first thing that we're gonna have to do. I gotta make the folder that holds the melee, right? I guess, maybe, sure. But this is what we're doing. So we've got to make all of these, right? And I'll get into each one of these, what they are. So working left to right just because that's easier, I guess. Maybe not. I don't know. But we'll open up the ability set. I've just named it kickboxing. I'm naming this one kickboxing. I might do like a sambo for Russian stuff. Maybe a kung fu one, karate. I don't know, depending on how in depth the melee system goes. But in the ability set, not too much in here. So we're going to have this kickboxing light and a kickboxing heavy. I will eventually add, say, a block, a parry, other things like that. If there's any fighting styles that other video games have that you guys like, let me know in the comments below if you want to see something. But as of right now, is just basic intro, kind of getting the melee system up and running. We'll just have the light attack and a heavy attack. So we will go ahead and make these. They're in that same folder right here, right? So we've got the heavy and the light. I'll go ahead and open up the light. As you can see, I'm just using this as a data blueprint. So this is actually a child of this GA Melee Light base. If you click on this, it'll magnifying glass, I guess whatever it is, but that's going to take you to, so I'll hit back. That's the folder I was in. This is the folder that we're in now. So what I've done is I actually have not copied the melee ability. I've got some stuff in here that I pulled out, but I didn't make these copies of that because this one is with the widget. I don't know. I don't like that, but as you can see, I've got the block here, but I'm not gonna get into that on this video. So this is what I did on here. This is just a regular Lyra gameplay ability. So the first thing that we're gonna do is off of this activate ability. We're gonna check to see if we're actually working backwards. So if this first one's false, that's what we're gonna get into, but off of here, we're going to check to see if we have this tag. So you will have to add this ability type action melee light 2 tag. You just go down here. So I've added, you can see I've got light 2, light 1, and light. So we're checking to see if we've got the last tag first. If that's true, we'll do this one. I guess you could do it the other way around and have this be on the true, or if I guess it's false, I don't know. I did it this way. I don't know. Makes sense to me, I guess, why I did it backwards. Put them in whatever order I guess you guys want, but we'll check off here. I guess we'll run the branch off here, check to see if this one is. If it's true, we're running this attack montage. I messed that up last time. Whatever this montage, whatever that is, but I've got play, montage, and wait. I'm coming right off this exec, so I'm not waiting for it to complete, blend out, interrupt, or canceled. I'm going to get into this later when we start refining the ability and how that works, but as of right now, I'm just running a 0.3 delay, and then I'm ending the ability. This, I actually have these unchecked, so let me uncheck these two. I was playing around with this. I'm still play testing it, how I like it. I know Sifu has a really cool melee system. Not that I'm trying to copy that, I guess, but so does Space Marine, actually. The melee system that they have, that's how I've got this light and the heavy. I'll show that in a sec, how those work. I think in the preview video I did that where I did, a light attack and then a heavy and then a light, heavy, stuff like that. So you can play with how that is set up, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So this one, as you can see, 0.3, you can actually, I was going to do it in the video. I'm going to promote that to a variable, right? So we've got duration, and then you can either run it as the same duration, and this is going to be based off of the montage, how we're having that. Again, I'll get into that in a second, but then we can just set this. We'll go ahead and compile. You can see this is set at 0.3. So we can plug that into all of these. You can run, each one of these as separate. If you end up doing, so this is the base. So we'll make the ability sets here. If we end up doing I guess a different melee style, and we have different montages that we're using here, that we'll want to do different delays on here. But again, notice you can see the sequence here because I've got all of this stuff. I'm not going to get into how damage and everything is done. Again, this first video is just getting everything up and running. So that's why we have it the way that we have it, and we'll get into that stuff later. So, but you're going to check to see if we have this light 2. If that is true, we'll run this one. If it's false, we're going to come in here, check to see if we have 1. If it's true, sorry, let me get that out of here. But if that's true, we'll run this one. If it's false, we're going to come down here, check to see if this one is, and if that's false, we're going to run this very first attack montage. So we've got 4 of those, so that way you can do a light, 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 light. I guess you could do 3 if you want, you could do 2 if you want, have it any way that you want. But so on here, we're checking to see if we have this ability tag, right? It has matching gameplay tag. If that is false, we're going to apply gameplay effect to owner. I think you guys have seen me do that before. I'm trying to think, is what was the Paragon game that Unreal did years ago? They actually had these as variables in here rather than gameplay tags. The reason why I like the gameplay tags is if we go into here for heavy, again, let me edit the base here. How I have this, and you can do it either way, but I'm actually checking to see if we have the light here. So if you hit a light attack 1, you're going to have a separate heavy attack. If you hit the heavy after the first 2 light attacks, you're going to do a different, sorry, I guess after the first 2, you'll do a different one. So after the first one, we're going to apply this gameplay effect. So if you hit light attack again, now that you have that, you're going to run into the second, right? So on here, you're going to do the attack montage 1, and then right, this is the root, I believe. No, that's the speed. It's this root. So as you can see, the character kind of takes a step forward when I ran that animation. And then we're going to get into this because playing with these locks you into, waiting till it is. But you can do all this stuff with, I guess, Anim notifies, and again, we'll get into all of that later, but this is just the basic setup. So we'll run a little bit of a delay, and then we're going to end the ability. So notice we are not stopping the ability when it ends. Just trying to think. I'll go through, show all of these. So again, here, we run this. And then we're going to apply this gameplay effect. So the gameplay effect, we'll go to that. That is going to be in the content folder, gameplay effects. Now I have added attack 1, attack 1, and attack 2. Now each one of those are different, but they basically do the same thing. So if you do a gameplay effect, really the only thing that you need to do is, I think it's instant or infinite. I think it might start as default as instant. You just want to change it to a duration, and then you can have that duration however long you want. If you wanted a half a second to where you have to hit that button real fast to start the combo, or if you want it slower, it gives you time to do that. What you're going to do then is granted tags. This is that ability type action melee light. So this is the tag that we are checking for. So once you apply that, right, you're going to apply this gameplay effect. You'll give yourself the tag, and then that'll last for a second. Sorry, let me find the light. So then if you use the ability again, you will have this and go right into that second attack. Let me go back here. So on attack 1, right, so we've got light 1. Same thing, we're running a has duration 1 second. And then on the last one, again, same thing, light 2. And then it has duration for 1 second. So each one of these, duration of 1 second. Close these out. So getting back into here, you have that light 2, then you go to the 4th. So the reason why I have this set up the way that it is, this is more, again, more like, I guess, Space Marine 2. If any of you guys have played that game where you can do, 1, 2, or 3 light combos and then a heavy. Again, the reason why I have it set up this way is I'll get into once we start adding damage and stuff like that. So on here, I'm actually checking to see if we have this light tag. If you wanted to set it up, so I guess almost like, what game would that be? For Honor, right? Where you can do light combos or heavy combos. You could do that where you can do a heavy tag right here. So you'll have the light and then the heavy to where you're checking to see if you have it. Or, I mean, I guess technically you could just do a melee tag and then you can mix it up. So if you apply the gameplay effect, sorry, if you apply this gameplay, the gameplay effect to the owner, and you have maybe just say what would that be, like a melee attack tag, then you could almost do a, light attack 1, heavy attack 2, and then back to the light attack 3. You can play around with it. So, but again, this is set up the same way. So I'm running this montage 1, montage 2, montage 3, and montage 4. So all of those are going to be, I guess whatever abilities you choose. Let me go back into this main folder. All right, so once we're here, the next thing that we're going to have to do is B kickboxing. So we'll go ahead and open that one up. And this is a child of this B weapon melee. Now that I made it right under the content folder under weapons. All I did was copy this B weapon. The reason for that is I will eventually probably delete a lot of this stuff, but I wanted to keep it separate so that way it's not, I can edit this, I can make changes to it, so it's not the same thing as this. But as of right now, I'm just leaving it as default, and then we are back in the shooter core weapons melee kickboxing. We're just going to create a child of that. Very similar to, we just go into pistol, they have this one is a child of that one. We're just making that. So again, as of right now, this is pretty much all default. I haven't added, we don't need any of the particle systems or anything like that, which is why I've made this one, because I'll probably end up deleting a lot of those variables. But as of right now, just kind of copying it. Theoretically, I guess you could just make it a child of that B weapon, but we don't need any of that stuff, so I'll probably end up deleting it. Make the file a little bit smaller. As of right now, it's only 25 kilobytes, so it's probably not that big, but again, just to kind of keep everything smaller, to package it up, we'll do it that way. So the next one that we're going to do is this B melee instance kickboxing. So we'll go ahead and open that one up. And again, this one is a child of the melee instance. So kind of going back into that main folder. So this one is basically just one folder up. And that's going to be right here. So I just made a copy of the, the weapon instance base. I just made a copy. Let me put that in here. And as right now, I'm trying to think if I did anything different in here. I may have just kept it the same, but just to kind of keep everything so that I have it separate. I do have these combat in, combat out. I don't think I'm using these at the moment. I will. So let me go into here. I keep everything in my main content folder under custom animations. Where's that folder? Sorry. It's right here. So I've got a bunch of different animation sets that I've either got off the marketplace or I've imported from other projects. But going into here, so what you do, if you need me to show you how to make a montage, is really you can just click on whatever animation you want, and you're going to do create and a montage. So we'll go ahead, and this is the combat in. We'll open this one up. Really, the only thing that you need to know for right now, at least, is in this default group, you want to make sure that this is, I think in the, When you first open it up, I think the default slot name is default slot. If you do that, it's not going to play properly. The legs get all funky and it kind of messes up. So make sure that it is full body. Um, the character will end up gliding if you use it like this. So I will probably cancel some sort of input. I think the default one that they use under, let me go under here, go back to the pistol. What are we in the instance? Go ahead and open up that one for you. I'll show you this one. So they have this as default slot is upper body, and then this one is an additive. This way you can run around as you're doing that. I didn't necessarily want to do that because if you just kind of have the arms moving around, it'll look a little funny. So I might play with that originally, or I might play with that eventually, but as of right now, it's just that this montage right now, and it's a full body. So I will eventually change that, show you guys how to do that. But I'm not 100% sure because I'm still, like I said, still kind of play testing the combat abilities. So the next thing that we're going to do is this equipped Anim set. So this gets a little complicated. It's not too bad. No, I'll walk you through it. So what we have is, if you can just kind of see how this is set up, I don't necessarily want to delete anything. If you copy it over from the pistol, some of the stuff comes in, but the one thing that you want to look at is right here, this equipped Anim set layer. This is an ABP kickboxing Anim layers. Feminine is what they have, and then the ABP kickboxing Anim layers. So I'll go into these. These are under that main content folder. You go characters, heroes, mannequin, animations, locomotion. You will have the pistol, rifle, shotgun, unarmed. All I did was I created a new folder, and I actually grabbed the unarmed. I copied these and then threw them right here. And the reason for that is if I eventually want to do, let me find where details. If I want to set, character something other than the unarmed, I can do that. I can set these here. I can always leave it the same. Technically, I guess. So on this unequipped, this is where we have the unarmed right here. You can keep these the same, I guess, but I just have this in case I ever want to do something different. So if we go into custom animations, I think in this close combat, which is the one that I'm using, there should be movement. I think you've got a walk, right? So your character's walking forward, and you can use this instead of the Lyra. I think there we go. So with his hands up, these directions, you can kind of put these in here. The only issue is Lyra's got a pretty complex locomotion system. So, I mean, unless you're making your own animations, I mean, go for it. But some of these are a bit a bit much to try and get every single one of these. So I'll look at that. I'll see what I can find for you guys. But as of right now, it's, even though it's separate, even though it's different, it's pretty much the exact same as here. So once we have that one done, the next one is, let me actually go ahead and just save that one. Let me go back to here. So that would be the instance. We've got these abilities that are, again, they're child classes of the bases, and then this is where you add your montage. Now, the reason why I've done this and not just thrown the base in here, it just makes it easier. So if I want to do, again, this is a kickboxing one, and if I wanted to do, I think, let me go back to the custom animations that I've got. There was a cool one, I think it was on the marketplace for Lucy, and there's just some cool animations that I've seen in here. So kind of show these real quick. They've got some different ones. Now again, that's kind of a long animation. I will show how to fix that later, but going back into here, we just have the montages that we're using. So I will show this one real quick. So I think we just had the animation packs. or the animations, and then you create the montages. And let me go. I've got a whole bunch of stuff down here. You can ignore all of this for right now. The one thing, again, that you want to look is the full body that we have. And then I just copied this whoosh, the whoosh, melee whoosh. This is from actually the default. I'll find it for you guys. Animations, actions. Let's look up melee. Is it under here? No, it's the montage. So just copy this, and then, oh, I guess, gotta go back, sorry. Let me find it. Here we go, okay. Yeah, let's open this one up. So then you can just kind of paste it here. I thought it looked good whenever your character, starts the punch. You want to do a little bit before because it seems like this hits, I guess, somewhere after this, but go ahead and play it. That looks all right. So you can set that up, and then you're going to put those, again, so these are the four that I have. I think this one is like a jab, this one's a cross, this one's a hook, and then like a spinning back fist. So those are the different light attacks. I think all of the heavy attacks that I have ended up being kicking, which wasn't on purpose, it was just how it worked out, right? So going into the next one is going to be this ID kickboxing, and that is a Lyra inventory item definition. So we'll go ahead and open that one up. And there's some fragments that you have to add here. So you can go ahead and name it, whatever you want to name it. And then, so the first fragment and I have is the equipable item. Let me see if that's, how much different is that from the pistol, this ID? Let me open this up. Let me drag this one over here just so we can kind of compare. Fragments. So there's 5. So they've got equipable item, quick bar, set, pickup. I don't have a pickup because I'm not going to have your melee be an actual pickup, I guess. And I think I've done some pickups when your character dies, you'll drop some stuff, and it'd be weird dropping a melee system, I guess, but everything else should be the same. So the reticle we do have to get into, but let's start with the first one. So it is this equipable item. So that is this WD kickboxing. Still in that same folder. I'll go back in here. That is this one right here. So let's go ahead and open that one up. This is where you're going to have that melee instance, and then your ability set, and then your actor to spawn is this B kickboxing. You don't have to attach to anything because there's not an actual, if you're doing like a knife or something like that, you would definitely want back in, is it this one? That's where you'd add the like knives, mesh, the static mesh, skeleton mesh, probably static mesh for like a knife. But then you'd want to attach it to a socket, left hand, right hand, or the left hand. If you saw the shoulder swap that I did, that's why I've got this, because I've edited this Lyra equipment definition. And then again, the location doesn't matter because you're not actually attaching anything. So this one's not too much information in here, but you definitely, this is where you add some of those other items. So once you have those, that's going to be good on this fragment. The next fragment is the quick bar icon. So on here, I actually made this one. I just kind of copied the pistol icon that they had. It's just kind of like a back background with a blue glow, and then they've got some yellow around there, but this one, it was, close enough. It's kind of got that blue glow, white or black background, and then the white image. So I guess theoretically you could just use, this one or something like that, or make your own, whatever you want. So I've got different fists. I can always do like a foot or something, but that might look a little weird. But in the future, if I end up making some of these for different things, You can do that with these textures, but these are the textures. I don't know if you need to see that. I think this one is what, 512 by 256. I don't know if it's, I forget, there's like a power or something that they do to keep it square, but I just basically just exported uh, one of these and then just kind of copied it. So everything kind of seems the same, although I guess it's a little bit off, but I didn't notice anything too much different. So I guess I could go through and make sure all of this is matching exactly, but haven't had any issues with the fists so far. The one thing that you do want to do is this ammo brush. I am just using whatever the MS presets, just the basic black one. If you don't have this in here, I think there's something weird that shows up on the quick bar icon with it. So this gets rid of, I think the ammo. Fists obviously don't have ammo. I'm going to get into that though, because you do need these set fragments right here. I was looking into this one, so you do want to keep the magazine size, the magazine ammo, and the spare ammo. You are going to need these to not be 0. Something about the AI is not going to work if they're not 0, if that makes sense. But just keep it 1 for right now. When you do the ability, I think I can show that somewhere. You don't consume it. Is it? Yeah. When I get to the AI later, maybe in the third video in this series, maybe I'll do some AI and show how that works. But as of right now, just know that these have to be set at 1. But then this right here keeps the ammo from showing up. So it'd be weird if you had ammo on fists or something like that, I guess, right? So let me collapse these back down. And then the next one is this weapon slot. This, again, is I'm keeping track of the pistols are going to go in one slot, the rifles go in another slot, and then fists, or I guess your melee system will go in slot 0. So I've done some other stuff where, if it's greater than or equal to 1, or even just greater than 0, it will put it in a certain slot, stuff like that. So, but this keeps the melee into slot 0. And then the last fragment that you're going to have is this reticle. You do need this. You're going to get some warnings if this isn't there, but I'll just go ahead and open it up. And I mean, as you can see, literally nothing in here. It is blank, nothing on the graph either. So you have to have it as, I guess, blank in there, because if you don't, you'll get some warnings. So once that one is done, close that one out. Go back in here. I think the last item is this weapon pickup, and notice on, is it here? No, I think this last one, no, sorry. Yeah, the ID. I don't actually have the weapon pickup, but I'm trying to think. I think one of the, I forgot what it is. Something uses this one. The inventory system, I think, uses it. So this is where you're going to add this ID. So this is where you add this, but this will have to be in there, just so that everything stays working, I guess. But so that should be it. So that's everything in this folder here. That's not everything that we have to do, but that once you have all of these items in here, I guess that's kind of all you need here. So one of the other things that I did do is going into the shooter core content. We're going to go into the user interface. We're going to go to the HUD, and then you've got these right here. So the first thing that I'm doing is going into, I forget what this one's called. This one is the weapon ammo and name. And then on the graph, I've added this right here. So we're going to go off the event tick. We're grabbing the quick bar. And what I'm doing is if the weapon slot is 0, because again, I've got all of my hand-to-hand combat stuff, the melee stuff, in slot 0, I am setting these to invisible or collapsed. That way you're not showing any spare ammo or anything like that when you've got the melee equipped. And then the other one that we're going to want to do is, I think it's this quick bar slot. Let me just double check that. You're not going to have any ammo in here, right? So is it off the event tick? I think I tried to, comment it out. So We're going to drag off of uninitialize. I'm going to go down here. I think it's this one. And then when we update the slot, so we're going to branch off of here. If the slot index is 0, we're going to, again, kind of set this to invisible. It's collapsed. I don't know if hidden might be better, but I've done collapsed in the past, and then this weapon ammo count is what we're getting, and that's going to make sure that this doesn't show up as 1, because again, we need the ammo for the AI, but we don't want that showing up. So that's gonna do that. The last thing I think that I did, I got to get to the inputs, but then the last thing before the inputs, sorry, is we're going to go into our shooter mannequin. So I've got some debug stuff up here, ignore that, but on the quick slots, I have strafing and forward facing. If you've seen that in the past, I might, again, I'm still working on how exactly the gameplay works, but as of right now, when you equip your slot 0, which is the hand-to-hand combat stuff, I'm turning on strafing, and then when you equip, say, a weapon, you're turning it off. So what I have that is, it is this custom event here. So again, if you watch one of those other videos on the forward-facing character, you've got on character parts change. We're going to go to init, and I think this is the unarmed one that I did, right? If you can see that I did that one on an earlier video too, but we're going to go here, and then off of here we've got set forward facing, where we are using the controller yaw, turning that off, and then the orient rotation to movement, checking that. To go back to the strafing, we'll do that. So I've got those. I actually did set it up on like a debug right here. Sorry, ignore all of this, but is forward, and I'm just switching back and forth between there with my P is kind of my debug button, just for playing with stuff. So, but again, here is the forward facing and strafing. If you want to set that and then kind of call these. So if you pull out the rifle, which is in slot 3, pistol in slot 2, and then your melee in slot 1, you can do strafing, forward facing. So that should be all of the character setup. The last little bit is the inputs. One of the cool things is we don't actually have to go into this ability set, because we're setting the abilities on the actual weapon. But the inputs, the inputs are, we're going to have to go into the mappings and the actions. So this is going to start to get pretty full, I guess, but we've just got IA, what is it? I think it's like melee, yeah, melee block, melee heavy, melee light. And what I think I did is I've got this trigger here. And again, it's just a pressed, and I've got it on the heavy as well. It is pressed. So once we have those, then we're going to add that to this input data set. No, sorry, input data shooter hero add-ons. Again, just kind of this is everything that we're adding, and it's going to keep getting longer and longer. It's the rate of fires down here that I did on, I think, the last video. But yeah, it's an input tag ability melee light. So I think I've deleted no, I've still got the melee. I don't think I have it in my mapping. I've taken that out. I might have to add that in. I might have to modify that, because technically this is a weapon. Your character will do the regular melee, and it looks bad, but I'll fix that later. I mean, if you guys know how to do that, I can show you in the next video. But this is where you'll have your input tags in here. And then the final thing is you're going to go back to your mapping, and then it's keyboard, mouse, or gamepad. I actually like the gamepad better. It kind of gives you smoother rather than the WASD, but just go down here, and then I have it set up as of right now, it's just F and V. Those will probably change. I might go back through on the final revision of all these, and I'm going to probably mess around with a lot of those. On here, I have it just as the left trigger and the right trigger. Not a fan of that. But as of right now, just for kind of demo testing purposes, that's where I have those. So that should be it. That should be everything. But like I said, if there's anything that you guys want to see as far as how this works, how this is run, let me know. I can I guess add that, change that, modify that, throw, anything in there that you guys want to see. If you like Sifu better, if you like Space Marine 2's system better, if you like For Honor or any other games that you guys have in mind, stuff that you'd want to see on the Melee, let me know in the comment section down below, and I can, play test that and work that out and show you guys that off. So that's it. That's all I've got for this first video. Definitely more to come on the Melee system, because it's the goal is to have it to be pretty robust at the end, right? Kind of a mix between like John Wick, James Bond, where you're running around shooting people with limited ammo, and then you get to beat them up with your fists. So anyways, hopefully you like that. Let me know, like I said, in the comments if there's anything else you want to see. But like, subscribe, all of those things, and I will see you guys next time.